Hello everyone. Today we're going to be ranking all the maps of Crash the Cars. I don't have an actual tier list to do this with, so I made my own. And underneath we put all the maps, and I'm going to put them all on the tier list. I'm not going to have any intro or anything, we're just going to get straight into this. Starting off with probably one of the best maps in the game, the dungeon. Let me think about it. Very few maps have an arena. I mean, yeah, there's the castle. They also have an arena. But, like, you get to fight bosses in this arena. It's just so cool, especially the way you get in the arena. Through the fireplaces. It's so cool. Plus, there's areas that look like the mansion map. There's this staircase, that's in the mansion to go up to the second floor. It's blocked off. Honestly, S tier map. Very few maps in the game like it. And going on to the stadium. Now, in real life, I'm not that big of a sports fan. Just not into it. But in Crash Your Cars, it is a really good map. Honestly, if I could rate the stadium, it'd be an A tier. Not quite S, but definitely A. Especially because it's really easy to gain high scores with. It has its own mode. It's its own game mode. Crash Ball. And just overall, so much fun. Then we move on to the Frozen Vale. Now, I'm going to be making a lot of Frozen Vale fans mad, including myself, because I'm a massive Frozen Vale fan. But I gotta say it, OG Frozen Vale was by far an S tier map. But new Frozen Vale, it's hard to even give it a B. Because the Frozen Vale was just not as good. When they removed the train, they removed the map. And I get the train was really overpowered, but that's what made the map cool, The map is just not that good anymore. I'm going to give it a B tier just because, I used to love this map. And I still do enjoy it. It's not like it's just an absolute F tier map, worst map in the game. But it's definitely not as enjoyable as it used to be. Then we go on to the Winterland, which I really enjoy. Especially because of the blizzard. If you go out too far in the map, you'll get hit by the blizzard and you'll slowly lose health. I think that's a really cool aspect that you don't really see anywhere else. And usually maps that have unique things like that usually rank up higher for me. Because I think that unique features are really, really, really cool. However, the Winterland is not my favorite. It's definitely not an A map. But it's definitely a B or C. So I'm going to give it a B tier. And I hate to rank it with the Frozen Vale. Because I love the Frozen Vale so much more than the Winterland. But that's how this is going to go. Then we go on to the Hollows. This map is really good, in my opinion. It's the better of the Halloween maps. The Hollows is really, really good. Think about it. You've got the fog that you can hide in, And, the map's so small, so it's, a pretty big arena, almost. You can hide it in the fog. Kind of hard to hide, but it's still a cool feature nonetheless. Honestly, probably another B tier map. Not quite A, but definitely a B. Then we move on to the jungle. This map is honestly almost perfection. The map is absolutely huge. But it is a very good place to get score. Now, there's nothing really too special about the jungle. There's not, some secret special ability. I mean, yeah, there's the totem hidden card, which is probably one of the best hidden cards in the game. Not just on how you find it, but just the card in general. But I just think the map's just really good. It's probably the largest map in the game. Honestly, probably an S tier map. and if not S, very high A tier. Very enjoyable. And we move on to another map that I very much so enjoy, the water park. I do think it's some special thing about it, which is that it can, flamethrowers are harder to use in the water park because, if you get too close to the water, the spray things, what was it called? Like the water hoses. And then your fire will be extinguished, which is cool. And I really enjoyed that. But if it weren't for that, I just like the map. I mean, yeah, going through the tubes are really cool as well. But even if it weren't for that, I just like the map. It's just a good map. I just really enjoy it. Honestly, maybe not quite an S tier map, but definitely an A tier. Now we move on to the Sky Garden. And there's a lot of Sky Garden hate, and personally, it's definitely not one of the best maps in the game. It may sound super fancy, super cool, but it really is not. It's not that cool. I mean, yeah, you can teleport through those warp holes and like finish up your travel missions very, very fast and very, very easily. But other than that, there's nothing too special about the Sky Garden. I mean, there's the magic carpet hidden car. But other than that, there's nothing that really screams Sky Garden. And it's not a map that I regularly play. I don't go out of my way to play the Sky Garden, even when it is available. I just don't do that. Because the Sky Garden is just not that good of a map. Definitely not an F tier. In fact, I'm not sure we're going to get a single F tier here. But definitely not a map that I play. And now we move on to the Blitz map. The Blitz map is really good for Blitz mode. And, with the big crown in the middle that you can get, it's just a really small and fun map. Personally, I don't like Blitz mode that much. I just don't like the Blitz that much. I don't really have a reason. It's just not really my thing, But I'm going to rank the Blitz map as a B tier map because it works good for Blitz, but I personally don't like the map that much. Then we go on to another one of my favorite maps, the Hypergrid. This map is very, very, very good. It's really small, really fast-paced, which is cool. And it's the first, I think it's the first map that we ever got that gave us the introduction to the boosts, those blue boosts that you run across and you get a boost. And I think the Hypergrid was also the first map of which we also got to see the health pickups that spawn. It seems like the Hypergrid was first for both of those things, which we see very commonly now. Like, quite a ton of maps. But honestly, I really like the Hypergrid. I really like its hidden car, the Hyper car. I think it's probably the coolest looking hidden car in the whole game. Honestly, might be controversial, but I think the Hypergrid is an S tier map. I very much so enjoy it. Now we move on to the golf course. This one, I mean, it's a good map, but again, it's another one of those I don't go out of my way to constantly play. The cannons that you get shot out of, like, those are kind of cool. But, like, other than that, there's just nothing that I really like about it. I don't go out of my way to play the golf course. I'm probably going to have to rank it with the Sky Garden as another C tier map. Might be controversial, but it's personally just my opinion. All of these are my opinion, honestly. Now we move on to the Mansion, which is the other Halloween map. This is probably the worst limited time map, in my opinion. The others are the Frozen Vale, the Winterland, and the Hollows, which are all ranked as B. The Mansion is probably the worst of them all. It's just not that good. This is just my opinion, but I just don't think it's that good of a map. Like, yeah, there's some cool things about it, like how you can fall through the floor in some areas, and that's all cool, but the map's just not that good. It's really just, it's not that good. It's a map that seems like it would be really funny for a lot of people. I bet it is. But it just does not catch my eye. I just don't like it that much. Now we move on to the facility. The facility is another one of those interesting maps. Its little ability that it has, which shoots out a railgun at one area, it's kind of cool. I think it's also when we got introduced to the energy car, which they pretty much debuffed it pretty heavily. But when that car first came out, it was like the best car in the whole game. It was OP. But then it's not about the energy cars, it's about the facility. It's definitely a unique map, and I don't go out of my way to not play it. But if there's better maps available, it's not one that I play regularly. The facility is probably going to get a B tier, honestly. It's not one that like I love so much, but it's definitely not one I don't enjoy, because I really do enjoy the facility when I do play it. Then we get on to the Gorge, which might controversially be one of the worst maps that has no ability. Personally, a lot of the ones that don't have anything special about them, I call them like abilities or whatever, most of them are actually pretty good. The jungle is really good. The water park is pretty good, although you could argue it does sort of have an ability, although sort of doesn't. Just all the original maps in the game, basically. The Gorge is probably my least favorite of them. I just don't like it that much. I mean, it's probably one of the most overrated maps in the whole game. It's just not that fun. Then again, though, nobody plays the Gorge. I don't know a single person who plays the Gorge on a regular basis. It's just one of those forgotten maps that just nobody cares about, nobody plays. I'm one of them. Honestly, probably C tier. It's probably one of my most unplayed maps. I just don't play the Gorge because I just don't like it. Now we move on to the mine. I actually really love this map. I think it's probably one of the better maps in this whole game. The mine is actually really good. I love the train that comes by, you know? The train that comes by, and if you get hit by it, you get like a large chunk of your health gone. I love the whole mine area itself because it's so cool. It's so unique. The mine car, hidden car, so cool. It's so good. This whole map in general is just really well made and just awesome in general. Honestly, I'm sitting about between A and S because I don't want to put too many in S tier. But I have to say, the mine is probably an S tier map. It is probably one of my most played maps. I really thoroughly enjoy the mine. Okay, so now I got the moon map. Honestly, the moon is pretty fun. I really enjoy playing on the moon. I can't necessarily have anything special about it. It's just a map based off the moon. But I really enjoy playing it. It's probably another A tier, honestly. It's one of those maps that is very underappreciated. Very good. Would recommend. So now we go on to the newest release map, the construction map. This map is honestly pretty good. When it first came out, I was like, this isn't so good. It's really small. Like, there's obstacles everywhere. It's everywhere. And it was kind of broken with the festive event this year. But as the map's been out for almost a year now, I've gotten to love the map quite a bit. I mean, think about it. The construction hat that spawns on the construction map, you can take and then go up to that door, go inside of it, and then you're controlling a crane for like a solid 20 seconds, I think it is. Maybe it might be closer to 30. And you can just whack people 3 times. It's so cool. It's just an awesome map. I've learned to love this map over time. I just think it's such a good map. It's not quite S tier, but it is definitely an A tier map. I highly, highly enjoyed the construction map. Now I have the desert map. This is another map that I really enjoy, and I believe it's the map you first play in the entire game, because I think you play it in the tutorial, if I remember correctly. I just really like the map, though. Like, there's nothing really special about the desert that much. It's a pretty basic, standard map. But I really enjoy the desert for, like, no real reason. I just really enjoy playing it. Honestly, probably another A tier map. Very highly enjoyed. Now we have the Atlantis. This map, I don't really like it that much. I mean, it's a good map. I do like, the little bubbles. How if you go into the bubble, you, like, go faster in that area. That's kind of cool. But I'm just not that big of a fan of the Atlantis. Honestly, probably another C tier. Not a big fan. Now we go on to the lounge. This map is honestly a really underrated one. Really enjoy it. I can see why somebody would not enjoy the lounge. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. But I really enjoy the lounge. And I play it whenever I get the chance. It's probably not an A tier map, but it's definitely a B tier. It's a good map. Now we're going on to the volcano. This map is actually really, really, really bad. Just kidding. This is actually one of the best maps in the entire game. Seriously. Volcanic eruption that happens every now and then is so awesome. It's such a good map. It is probably my second favorite map in the entire game, behind the dungeon. It is the easiest S tier of my entire life. This map is so good. Now, we are rapidly going downhill from an absolute legendary volcano map to the map that literally nobody talks about and literally nobody cares about. The Fortune Harbor. Like, this map is so bad. Like, I just do not like the Fortune Harbor in any way. Like, it's probably gonna stay a C tier. Honestly, it's probably gonna become a C tier. Not a map that I enjoy that much. Not a map that I ever play at all. Now we go on to the Nero. This is another really cool map, in my opinion. I really like this one. I don't play it that often, because there's so many better options nowadays. But for a long time, it was probably one of my favorite starter maps. It's probably one of my favorite basic maps. Now, though, I'd say it's probably a solid C tier. Maybe, nah, it's a B tier map. Slight, but it is. Now we only have 2 maps left. The castle and the sweet fields. We're going to do the castle first. This is another really, really, really good map. I really enjoyed the castle. The arena, the fighting arena, is so cool. The little ball that, like, just spins around and can hit you sometimes. That's so cool. The massive catapult. It just launch you all the way across the map. That is so cool. The Royal Wagon is such a cool hidden car. Honestly, I think it's going to be another S tier. We've had so many, but this is how it's going to be. And then last but not least, the Sweet Fields map. When I say last but not least, I mean it. I actually really like the Sweet Fields map. I don't play it that often. It's a map I don't really play. But when I do, I generally have a great time. I mean, I love the King Jelly, too. You know, it's a boss. Like, all the bosses in this game make the game just that much better. Of course, the King Jelly doesn't fight you back like the Mega and Ultra Phantoms do from the dungeon. But, like, it's just a cool little fun boss. You know? the candy-themed map part of it just really strikes me. It's probably going to be an A tier map. Okay, so I'm going to do some quick adjustments, and then I'm going to get back to you when these adjustments are made. So here's the official tier list. As you can see, I didn't change that much. I just added Gorge and Fortune Harbor to F tier, and that's really about it. So, see ya.